We need a name for this something to do with locks.
Great value locks.
Great Dollar Tree locks. Okay, I want to get your thought on this. This has nothing to do with
Hate it.
locks and sports or anything like that. Um, so so imagine, right? So say you buy a house, right? You're not living in the apartment or condo thing you're
Yep,
living in
yep.
now, right? You have a
Of
house
course, yeah.
in a
Sounds
neighborhood,
awesome.
suburban neighborhood, right? You're not too far away from everyone else, but they're also not too close. Obviously, you decide to buy a smoker, like one of those fridge smokers, and you smoke meat because that's what people do.
Sounds like
Um,
a great time.
and you happen to have a vegan neighbor
Ah, that
that
sucks.
feels that that feels like the world should revolve around her. So every time you smoke meat, she comes over and gets very angry at you and makes it your problem that you're not a vegan. How are you handling that
Well,
situation?
I'd probably, like I said, I'm usually a peacemaker guy, so I try to make everyone happy. But as soon as she turns around and walks away, I'm probably putting some more meat on there.
Perfect.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, again, I like to be a peacemaker guy. I hate to make enemies, but I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I'm not smiling every time I do it.
Oh yeah. And I feel like me personally, I would smoke meat more often than I probably would if I knew I had a vegan neighbor that would get that enraged about it. To come
Well,
up on my
we're already
backyard.
starting off with I have a vegan neighbor, so that already kind of sucks.
You didn't
Um,
choose it. She moves in after you. And of course it's a she.
of course, yeah, yeah. She's probably got blue hair,
Probably. I'm thinking
some
red,
sort of red.
but same
Kind of
thing. It's
hot.
just yeah. All right. Let's dive into these Dollar Tree locks for this week. This is college football week 11 and NFL week 10, right?
Yes, that is correct, and it's crazy that it's taken this long to get me on any episode ever.
Of
Um,
anything. Yeah.
of anything. Yeah, I feel cool enough to write the show, be behind the scenes, but not cool
We're
enough to be on it.
well, you're just so skilled at writing. We don't want you to think that then you can be on the, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Just
but no,
work,
we'll
monkey, work.
we'll get you up here in the studio. The new fancy studio. As you can see, it's very well decorated. Beer bottles. Um, the important
Buttweiser,
things.
yes.
Yeah. Budweiser's up there as well. That's a prized possession of mine. I've had that for a few years, obviously. All right, you want to start? You want me to start?
Uh, we'll probably have you start, but before you do, we've been keeping track of this, or at least I have, the last 3 weeks. And before
Yeah,
we
let's
dive
catch
into
up the
Saturday and
records. Yeah.
Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Tim's sitting at 2-7 right now. He went over 3 last week. It's a bad start to be Tim, like any other day. Uh,
It's never good
I,
to
on
be
the
me.
other hand, I'm doing pretty darn well. I'm sitting in a very comfortable 7-2.
Mm.
Um, Another announcement: we are no longer celebrating New Year's Eve this year. It is Sports Betting Eve. I'd like to make sure that everyone is aware of this and celebrates
Here in the state of
accordingly.
Ohio, it's a holiday at this point. Yeah.
Yes, January 1st. Very excited. Can't come soon enough. Wish it were tomorrow. Um, but yeah, let's dive in Saturday, week 11.
Um. Yeah. So I mentioned to you earlier I had kind of a bigger list. The more I looked at those, the more I just didn't even like them. So the three I ended up with, I went from like 8 down to 3, obviously, but my 3 never came from that 8. I found completely different games and matchups that I like better. Um, you
Got
know,
to just change something. Something's got to
here
change.
exactly. That was my kind of thought with it going in. I was like, I was kind of going off my first instinct these first couple weeks with the locks. Now that we're going to put this out on the internet, I feel like I need to go with my second instinct. Maybe that's what I've been ignoring. That second push, that might be the one to get me there. But without further ado, my week 11 college football locks. Starting out, we're gonna start in the Big Ten. They haven't been good to me this year. I mean, no one's been good to me. I'm 2-7, but we're gonna go Illinois to cover 6.5. They're favored by 6.5 over Purdue. Um, you know, Illinois, tough loss last week to Michigan State. Obviously, Michigan State's nowhere near the caliber that they usually are, so that's a bad loss for Illinois. But the last time I checked, I think they're still at the top of the Big Ten West, which has kind of just been a ball of shit this year, as it usually is, I guess. No clear favorite, but they're up there at the top of that division. I think they have a bounce back game against Purdue. My only worry with that matchup, of course, is that Purdue is Purdue.
Uh,
And you being an Ohio State fan, you're very, very, knowledgeable of Purdue being Purdue.
if there's a
So,
team to upset somebody, it's going to be Purdue. Purdue's going to be the
exactly.
upsetter every year. Every
Mhm.
year they upset somebody.
Exactly. And I just think what Brett Bielema is doing over there in Illinois, though, is really good for Illinois football. That's, hasn't seen success in a very long time. And I think just for them to get to the Big Ten championship game would be huge. And they
Mm-hmm.
desperately need to win out to do that. And I think they start, kind of getting it back in gear this week.
You said
Hopefully.
minus 6.5?
Yeah. Yeah, their favorite. Yeah. I like them by a touchdown.
It's home.
I believe so. Yeah. I didn't double check on
Okay,
that,
okay.
but
I mean that's good for them. That's good for them. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying.
sure.
I don't know. Illinois looked like shit the last 2 weeks.
All
Um,
right, moving down to my second. I bet on this team earlier. I think it was the first week we did locks, and and they shit the bed for me. Um, but I stayed away from them for a couple weeks, and I'm looking to get back with them. Hopefully they'll show me some love this time around. I'm gonna go with the James Madison over against ODU. It's set at 44, I believe, which is kind of a low over under for a James Madison team that's been, at least at the beginning of the year, was, scoring 50, 60 points a game. Um, ODU, has their higher scoring games, but that they're not consistently high scoring as James Madison is. But like I said, I think James Madison can take care of that 44 pretty much on their own, if they wanted to. Odds on that are minus 100 for good reason. That's a likely thing. But they're called locks, not dogs and far shots, long shots or anything like that. So,
mhm, mhm.
um, like I said, I hope they do me right this time, because I don't know what that game against Marshall was earlier this year.
Piss poor.
Yeah,
Piss poor.
it's piss poor. One of my 7 losses for sure. Uh, but all right, and then rounding it out, lock number 3. Um, we're going to the SEC for this one. I like LSU coming off their big win last week. Go Tigers. I like them to cover -3. That's it. Just -3 against Arkansas, which Arkansas, good team, but they dropped last week to Liberty, which Liberty's a good squad. Not going to, throw anything at them, but that's not a game that SEC teams should be losing at any level. So I
I
like
agree with you.
Tigers. I like the Tigers -3 there. Tigers in the
I
points.
really like that one. I really like that one a lot. I was looking at LSU money line because I dabble in a little college betting. I was telling Sierra the other day, I don't know why I keep betting on Saturdays because I'm only destined to lose it. I think I've lost all my college bets besides one.
Sure.
Um,
Happens to the best of us.
but what am I going to do? Quit? That'd be ridiculous.
What is
Um,
what's the stat? They say 90% of gamblers quit right before their big break.
yeah, that's just come on. That's just dumb, stupid, if you will.
Don't give up.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna give up. That'd just be dumb. But no, I really like that LSU bet. I'm not too familiar with the other ones, but I don't know Illinois too well. I just know they lost their last two. Um, or I have a few I like for that day too, but I won't get into that. I'm ready for Sunday when you are.
We're moving to the NFL Sunday. Here we go. Week 10, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Let's get into it.
And I was saying this earlier to a buddy of mine. I think this is my favorite week so far of the season. There are like 6 or 7 games I like. Like usually Monday or Tuesday rolls around and I get my first glimpse of the lines and I can easily tell, all right, I like that game, or shit, I don't like any of these. And the last few weeks has been a lot of shit, I don't like any of these. But this week came around and I liked about 6 or 7 games, like I said.
Okay.
So kind of like you said, had to narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
So further ado, I'm going to try to give one upset every week, one dog,
I like
and
that.
I feel really good about this dog at least because I know locks are supposed to be like can't lose,
Easy money. Yeah.
but in this year of the NFL, there's been nothing but upsets every week. Um, so I'm going to give one. And then I'm going to start with the Seahawks money line over the Bucks.
Okay.
Uh, I don't understand how they're a dog. The Buccaneers stink. They have is Tom Brady. They look like
I think
crap
that's
every time I've
why
seen them.
I think that's why they're favored is because Brady.
Yeah, I mean it's not they're at the Bucks, but it's a 9:30 a.m. game in Germany. Not even
That
a
is
home
that is
game.
the Munich game. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean nobody thought the Seahawks were going to have the year they're having, but I
Hmm.
mean they beat good teams. They beat the Giants. Say what you want about them, but their record says they're good.
Sure.
Um, they've handled Arizona twice now, pretty convincingly, and ever since Kenneth Walker's been there, they've looked good. So Seahawks money line plus 123. Not a huge underdog, but I mean that's still a dog. I think they're favored to lose by 1.5.
Okay.
But it's pretty good. I like it.
100%.
Next up, like I said, this is another good team. The next two are probably kind of easy pickings. They're ones you would go, okay, yeah, I'd hope so. But they're locks. Giants money line versus the Texans minus 278. I think the Giants pull this off. They're better than the Texans.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on down in Houston. I don't know. Like it's been the last few years. It's just been a train wreck. Everyone's getting out of there. They had so much talent on that team. Just a few years ago with Deshaun and Hopkins and JJ Watt and all that, and everyone just got out. I don't know if it's ownership, if it's management, or what, but
It's ownership, definitely ownership.
you
Gotta
think,
be. They traded DeAndre Hopkins away for a second round pick.
yeah.
That's
But I
absurd.
don't see the business moving that at all. Like I don't know, one of the best receivers in the league, and you're throwing him away for a second round pick, which there's plenty of talent in the second round for sure, but you'd think you'd need more for
I,
that.
I saw something crazy the other day. That said, just think about it. DeAndre Hopkins was technically valued the same as Chase Claypool.
Which is just not accurate.
No, I'm sorry, Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins every day of the week.
100%.
Yeah. But last one, this one might hurt for you, but I think you're probably going to agree with me. And I think you know where I'm going.
I know exactly where you're
Uh,
going, brother.
Cowboys money line. I think that is the easiest bet of the week. The Packers look piss poor. They look god awful. They lost to the Lions.
I
The
mean,
Cowboys have a good defense. They're
I mean,
screwed.
you want to talk about a train wreck. You just look up there in northern Wisconsin, and you'll see one plain as day. I mean, every sportscaster on the face of the planet has mentioned it in some way or another. What are we doing? Are we playing for now? Are we playing for tomorrow? And I don't. It's not
Neither.
clear either way. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna. But obviously, I mean, playoff push is we'd have to win out at this point to even get a shot, which is not happening with our schedule. We still got the Eagles here in a couple weeks. Um,
Fucked.
you know, it's travesty without a doubt. So, I totally support that lock. I back it up without a doubt. I think it's fade the Packers the rest of the year as far as NFL betting. I
Wow.
mean, fade them hard. Whether it's points, whether it's money line, it doesn't matter to me. Just I, I think you fade them at this point. It's a sad world we live in, but that's the reality.
I thought they looked okay the other night against the Bills when they played on Sunday Night Football, but I think that was more of the Bills kind of took their foot off the pedal in the second half
Well,
rather than the
and
Packers were looking good.
we on the offensive side of the ball, you say we look good. We were just running the ball 100%. Like it was a pure rushing attack, and we were successful in the run game. And I think there was a story that came out. Von Miller looked at Aaron after a play and goes, "Why weren't y'all running the ball like this in the first half? To establish pace, establish line of scrimmage dominance." And that's a fair question. Like in the second half, they're playing catch up. I think they were down what 17-3 or something at halftime. I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not, but
That was a
um,
score, yes.
but you got to be passing the ball to make up a deficit like that, especially in the NFL. So I don't know what was going on down there, but it's
Uh,
purely a mess that needs cleaned up one way or another. So
And I heard something the other day that was like, it's like the Packers were almost playing like, all right, we know we're going to lose, but let's just not get embarrassed. So
Mhm.
that's what they were trying to do. Make sure they didn't get blown out. Just make sure it was respectable loss. And
I
when you're what 3-5, I feel like that's just not to play. And now they're 3-6 now.
We've lost 5
I
straight.
mean, yeah, that hurts.
It doesn't matter any
That's
way you
tough.
slice it. It doesn't matter any way you slice it. A loss to the Lions is embarrassing. You lose by 1 point, you lose by 50. It's embarrassing all the same. So
Yeah, I think that was the Lions' second win of the season.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. But no, wrapping that up real quick. If you parlay those 3 games, Seahawks money line, Giants money line, Cowboys money line, which is kind of weird that I'm going with all money lines, no one to cover, or no one to hit it over or under here this week. Plus 340 for those 3 games, and I feel like those are
You don't
pretty
hate those
darn.
odds.
No, you put $15 down on that. That's almost $51.
Mm-hmm.
And $51 buys 51 McChickens or a quarter of a Nintendo Switch.
Well, aren't McChickens like $1.19 now or something ridiculous?
We're in a recession.
Inflation's out of control if McChickens aren't a
Yeah.
flat dollar anymore. That's a good point.
I'm really pissed off now.
I didn't do the parlay calculations on mine, but I'm gonna put a graphic at the end showing all of our picks anyway, so it'll be on there. But
can you get some hot women in there so we look good for the visual learners here?
I can
like maybe like a hot lady pointing to your numbers or something. I don't know if you know any hot women that'll pose or
get like I can just find one on the internet. Get like Kate Upton doing this right at our graphics, you know. That'd be pretty sweet. I think that'd attract a lot of attention. I could put that as the screen cap too, and it'll draw more viewers without a doubt. So.
Yeah. Or maybe if you want to go stick with the theme here, would we say great value or Dollar Tree locks? We can get like a really fat, ugly lady. Like get like a Lizzo or something in there.
Just get like a morbidly obese Southern woman with like, no stomach teeth. Spilling over the jeans, no teeth, of course. Just really ratty, thin hair, cigarette, missing teeth. Yeah. I think that would go along with the lines of the theme for this, even though, you're looking as spiffy as ever over there.
Thank you.
I kind of just went with the Blue Mountain State. Yeah, see, that's why I'm dressed like this and you're dressed like that, because I'm 2-7.
Yeah, that hurts. You need to pick up some wins here because you're falling behind pretty hard.
I do.
If you don't start doing well, I mean, the best you've done is 1-2. If you go have another 1-2 week, you're looking at 3-9.
Something's got to change. Like I said, I took a kind of different mental strategy to it this week. Hopefully that'll pay off for me, because we need wins and we need them fast. It's as simple as that. It's embarrassing the type of effort that's going on the field week in and week out from my side. But all right, folks, this has been the inaugural episode of whatever the hell we decide to call this. Check back with us next week, see how we did this week, and get our locks for week 12 of college football and week 11 of the NFL season.
Hey, fuck Brent.